February.
She here?
I'm not sure she's coming out that when she's doing her second.
I remember. And Jesse's.
You should be. We just found out Trevor's not going to be here probably, so we still have a quorum.
Yeah.
There, yes.
Okay, you got one.
You was right.
That's the one. The desk. We are like tonight.
Jesse, why don't you come on down here so the camera, get all of you on camera together. Perfect, thank you so much. All right. Like, here are texts. Okay, I need you to please sign this form for me. So, on your line, and then I'm going to make some of these copies while you are talking about the first item.
That 9/11 ceremony in France. And our
Jesse have
Okay.
He's got one. We have neither the recorder nor the mayor here this evening.
So we are, as a group, calling to order this town council special meeting. It's September 11th, 2025. It is 5:31 p.m. First order of business is we need to elect someone to lead the meeting and someone to record the minutes.
I
So-
nominate Storm DiCostanzo to lead the meeting.
Yeah,
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And I nominate Chris Craig to take the minutes.
I'll second that.
Discussion, all in favor? All opposed? Motion approved. All right, all right, meeting. Approval of agenda. I would like to move item 2 to be last because it is going to require executive session, and I move so.
Okay. Makes sense.
Is there a second? Discussion, all in favor? All opposed? None. It passes 4-0. Okay, unfinished business number 1, discussion and action regarding lot line adjustment approval for 189 High Street. Zach, I believe you're here to present on this.
Thanks. This is an item that the previous council started and sent to planning commission as per standards of the ordinances. The applicant has all of the materials here in paper form as per the ordinances. The planning commission did approve this by majority vote, so it has been for a while now. It's taken a while to get all the information together, but sent to the town council for final approval. This was a little bit of a unique one because the house in question, the lot line as it stands, cuts through the corner of the house. The house was actually built prior to the establishment of the Howell Brown map, so it's a very unique circumstance which allowed this. So if you look at these documents, the lot line is slightly unique to accommodate for the house shape, but everything is in order, and the planning commission did approve. So the process here would be by majority vote of the town council and signature of the mayor. This can be an approved lot line adjustment, which is then sent to the county for final filing.
Okay, so the motion would be to approve the lot line adjustment for the address as approved.
Yes, and this is
Go
from
ahead.
189 High Street.
And Zach, I'm confused. I thought we had finalized that. No?
It took, and the applicant can probably speak to this more, it took a while to get the signatures of both adjacent landowners because both lot lines are adjusted.
Oh,
So effectively, an equal pie slice of land is granted to this applicant and taken away from the previous lot line. So the total lot volumes remain the same, but it needed permission from both adjacent landowners, which their signatures appear on the
Gotcha.
documents.
And I remember it, Jesse, if you want to review.
Yeah, no, I remember I was in the planning.
All right, of
Right.
course, of course. Christian, do you have any questions?
so both of them adjusted a little bit, is that, and it's comparable?
Yeah, effectively, the Howell Brown lot lines, which were applied, were straight lines, but the house being built prior was not parallel
Ah.
to both of those lines. So there's a corner that sort of literally impeded on the adjacent line. So in order to be able to sell the house with no issues,
It shows
the lot line needs to be adjusted so that the property is clear.
How did it go this long like this? How come it's
I don't think it
Never,
ever,
no reason.
100 some years ago?
No reason for it ever to come up.
Jill
Yeah.
figured it out.
Okay.
so there could be other
Oh,
issues,
yeah.
but until they're served.
Yeah, there's probably 1,000 like this, but this one came before us. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the lot line adjustment for 189 High Street as presented.
Discussion.
Second.
Oh, seconds. Now discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved 4-0.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
The mayor's gonna sign this, so we'll hold it till he gets back, and then Jill will take the court.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, we are skipping over. Yeah,
All these signatures. That's in front of California, so it took forever to
I
get
see.
them to respond, and then to get the document.
But they were responding by call. They didn't, you get them to actually write the letter that the ordinance required. It was a huge thing, you know.
It's the.
Hmm.
Right.
Thank you.
all right, thanks. All right, we are moving to item 3, discussion and action regarding Harpers-Ferry non-discrimination assurances. Deb.
Okay, great, thank you. So this is the non-discrimination assurance and policy that the EPA has requested that we adopt. It will affect our entire organization regardless of whether something might have to do with federal funding or not. And it is from here on, as long as we have federal funding in our midst. And there was some, the reason I didn't put it on Monday night was that I had asked for a final review from the EPA and they sent it to me, but it was too late for me to get it to you. So I've made the final pinches and pulls in here from what they suggested. There was a question the last time that we discussed this a little bit at council about whether or not we should incorporate any language about the Harper's Ferry Ordinance of Human Rights. I've scribbled my language and sequence of words. I know that's wrong. Kevin and I discussed that, and we kind of came to the conclusion that this is kind of a federally mandated thing. We can adopt that, and when we get to our contract languages, to any vendors or anything that we put out, we can also include language from our human rights. But inserting it into this would almost kind of be backwards and more onerous to this document, right? So, does anyone have any other questions about it?
Is that going to be a problem with them? Is this meant to be a replacement in their?
Well, that we don't have this in the format that they want to see it, that would allow us to comply to be able to get federal funding. We have something that's a little different and a little more specific. So it's actually drilling down a little more than what this is. So it doesn't, I don't think it conflicts with it, if that's what you're saying.
No, like, we just need to meet their bar. If we have a bar that's higher, that should not matter to
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I actually read it, and there's an omission.
Okay.
Page 7. My name's not on it.
Really?
And it went through the whole document to look to see if my name was someplace else.
Thank you. No, you're absolutely right. All right, so that's easy to fix.
Under Article 40, Parts 5 and 7, I think you've got a case for discrimination.
No, I'm trying to figure out. Is it an age thing?
So the motion will be as amended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I move to adopt the Harper's Ferry non-discrimination assurance with the addition of Christian Pachiconis's name.
On page 7.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion. All in favor? All opposed? Motion is approved 4-0. Okay, item 4 regarding discussion and action regarding updated budget of WDA distribution system project.
Okay, so this is just going to be a little bit of information for you to stack away in your brain till we get to next month in possibly the town council meeting or a special meeting. Given now the projected cost of the paving, which was not as much as was originally estimated, and all the other changes that happened inside of the project, we are possibly looking at a coming in under budget in excess of $150,000. Now that's good news. What I need to learn more specifically is exactly what that number is, which after the pay application comes in from Terra Works at the end of this month, on which you will pay them in the next meeting, we will know exactly what that number is. And we'll be able to be more concrete about if it comes out of the WDA money or it's coming out of the loan that we're taking, right? And or if there's a portion between each, which is more likely the case. And that being the case, there may be different ways that we can use those sections of money, which I need to get more precisely defined. So I just wanted to give you the high level where it looks like we're going to come in under budget, a nice amount of money. We may need to make some decisions about what we can and should do with that money. With the bond sitting the way that it is, you may say to yourself, well, let's just close the bond out and make a lower bond payment, but that's actually not how it works. We'd have to totally rebond it and pay for that all over again.
No.
So what we would do if we did not borrow all the money that we had intended is that we would just pay less with the amount per month that was already designated. So over time, we would pay less payments, but we would pay the same amount every month. So there's probably that amount of money is probably not quite enough to lay another total line. If that's kind of what you're thinking, high level, we're probably not. So we're kind of thinking about some other things within our distribution system that we may be able to take up that either are part of the plan already, but maybe aren't. And if we can do all that kind of stuff is what I'm going to try to figure out. There's some things at the water plant that need attended to. There's some things, like river pumps, things like that, maybe we could take care of some of that really we need done. So.
Isn't the valve out of this pot of money too?
Yes, and we'll have a fairly firm number on that once we get to October.
But it's still expected to be significantly under.
Yes, it is. It's like half. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that'll be part of the projection.
And is the 150 savings, does that include the estimate for the valve already, or?
No, it includes the estimate for the valve as it is now intended to be fixed.
Where's Prospect Street on that?
Not.
Okay.
So Prospect Street, when we filed for the fiscal 24 CDS, we filed for the Prospect Street project, and it was $1 million. We were given $500,000. That is why the fiscal 24 project is now the meter project. In the middle of doing that, we thought we had Prospect Street, so when we went forward with fiscal 25 or 4, or whatever the one is that the WDA project, we pulled it out of there. We said, when we were regrouping everything, we're like, okay, let's put this in fiscal 24, but then it didn't happen. So now Prospect Street will go into the next thing, CDS that we get.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doing it sooner would require a rate increase.
Can I ask a clarification on the pump that's in Potomac River? There's just one pump?
No,
like
there's two.
There's two, but one's not working, or?
They're both, I believe that they are both working, but there are things that one of the vaults is leaking, and so I believe that neither one of them has variable speed on it, which is really troublesome.
Oh, okay.
They're on or off, so they can't match the
flow.
Yeah, so they can't take from Elks Run and Potomac simultaneously because there's no way to manage the pressure. So the less that we could take from Potomac would be better for us financially, because we don't have to pay. We have to pay for all the Potomac water separately.
We don't have to pay for a drum, but it requires more chemicals to process it.
Right. And it doesn't taste as good. It's not as
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, and the VFDs, the variable frequency drives, and then one of the vaults is leaking, so it can't be maintained without a scuba diver. Which is
so yeah, if we can
right,
squeak
so
that
that
out.
is absolutely part of our
I heard the original project dropped that out, but
yes, and I don't think that they were think about how long ago that was.
yeah, we can.
And the probability them that were using it back then was very slim.
Not
And
now.
so that it's something anyway. So these are things to think about. Yep.
Just for the minutes, I want to make sure I heard the amount right. I thought I heard 100,000.
In excess of 150 is what is projected,
Okay,
and it is just a projection right now.
thank
Yep,
you.
thank you.
All right.
Item 5, discussion and action regarding Eastern Federal Land Access Program project application. That
All right. So did you all receive the email from the mayor regarding this federal grant submitted on our behalf by the Hagerstown Eastern Panhandle Metropolitan Planning Organization? This is something that in 2006, the mayor applied for a governor's grant for engineering assessments in High Street. Governor Tomlin in 2016 awarded Harpers Ferry $80,000 for the DOH to conduct a preliminary engineering study of the issues. And they included pedestrian safety, stormwater, ADA compliance, safety railing, curbing, all those things. After many years, that project was reinvigorated in 2021, and DOH developed several concepts designed to correct the glaring issues along High Street. As a result, the most feasible plan involved shifting the roadway 2 feet to the south. So public hearings were held and conducted by DOH. This organization is submitting the project now for full funding. So the project's final design and construction will be funded by the U.S. government at a cost of approximately $1.7 million. There'll be ample opportunities for us to weigh in on specific design applications. So the mayor is requesting that we not get hung up on final design issues at this time. There will be opportunities for that later. First, we need to secure the money. So there is no match required on our part, nor any other financial burden to Harpers Ferry. And the application, however, must be endorsed by Tanya Gossett and the mayor. And there is some confusion about the Planning Commission's intent on this. So I think Jesse's going to take care of working that out with the Planning Commission. And so what is requested of you all today is to direct the mayor to endorse the application, as well as there is a resolution which I can read, which you would also adopt. And the mayor and the recorder, you would direct the mayor and recorder to sign this as well, and that would go along with it. So the resolution is a resolution of the Corporation of Harpers Ferry in support of a federal land access program FLAP grant for the design, engineering, and construction of the High Street Sidewalk project. Whereas the Corporation of Harpers Ferry wishes to work with the Harpers Ferry National Park to provide better and safer access to park lands, and whereas the corporation supports the preservation of historic structures and natural and recreational assets, and whereas the Corporation of Harpers Ferry recognizes that outdoor recreation contributes to its economic development, and whereas the Corporation of Harpers Ferry wishes to provide more transportation options to its residents and visitors, and whereas the proposed project is consistent with the Hagerstown Eastern Panhandle Metropolitan Planning Organization Regional Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan. Therefore, be it resolved on this 11th day of September 2025 that Section 1, the Corporation of Harpers Ferry is the applicant of record for a FLAP grant to design, engineer, and construct the High Street Sidewalk project. Section 2, the mayor is authorized and directed to execute any and all documents necessary to apply for the grant as described herein. And Section 3, if the FLAP grant is awarded, the West Virginia Department of Transportation will be the project's delivery agency.
And anything on
There,
timeline?
It's
I
the
know.
road.
Thing about
So what was that?
it says, application deadline is October 1, so that is why I did not wait till the next council meeting.
Right.
So, this, so I can explain why planning, stopped this, got in the way of the thing earlier this year. Or twofold. One is the plan that we were presented with. It's not complete. But after the meeting with the Department of Highways folks, Zach and I both left there confident and feeling good about their willingness to work with us in fleshing the plan out and completing it. And the second issue was the budget. The earlier monies had been a match, and I want to say the estimate was $400,000. And then at the meeting, we're talking to the engineers, and it was going to be 1.4 at least.
It was over $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, so the original monies didn't come anywhere close to that, and it still required this match that we really don't have the funding for. So this being fully funded with no match required changes all the previous calculations. That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And so, the next week at planning, I'm going to bring it back to them and explain to them the same thing, that our initial concerns have been allayed and the federal government's willing to pay for the whole nut, so, you know.
Well, it's good too that the park superintendent needs to sign off
Oh
on it.
my God,
So
yeah.
this is gonna be a cooperative effort.
Because it's, that 2 feet, is that their land or is that still the state's land?
Well, it will be on our land, but the work will be disturbing
Oh, yeah.
their land.
And the Park Service has just, already stated they're not going to sign off on it unless planning signs off on it.
Right, I heard
So
that.
it's a,
So we need a,
gotta get it done.
Mhm.
we need a motion to adopt this resolution and direct the mayor
To execute the application.
execute. Okay. So I move to adopt the resolution of the Corporation of Harpers Ferry in support of a federal lands access program grant application for the design, engineering, and construction of the High Street Sidewalk project and direct the mayor to execute the contract.
Second,
The application. Execute the application.
Say it again.
Execute the
The
application.
Execute the application. Thank you.
But Jesse's already seconded.
Discussion.
Let me tell you, this has been a long time.
Yeah, so
I mean, I don't know how many councils this has gone through. This is the best possible deal. I had no idea you guys were working on it this good of a deal.
Well, I think it just kind of happened recently.
yeah, I think
I
it's
mean,
gonna
this
take
is-
a.
Been in contact with DOH. Yeah.
This part of town is the heart of the town, but it's not only that, it is the crown jewel of West Virginia. And we could never get that quite across how important it is. And every picture you ever see of Harpers Ferry is that particular part.
Yeah.
And we needed to fix it.
They always take the pictures when people aren't walking in the street.
Only walk on the street. And Jesse, it was a real problem during COVID when people had to be separate further apart. It was a nightmare, and everybody's walking in the street. It was unsafe. I just wanted.
Yep.
I'm so happy.
Further discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved 4-0.
Wouldn't have been bad if I didn't vote for it. This guy.
that happens in planning. Sometimes we have people that will second a motion, they won't vote for it.
Oh, yeah.
They made the motion.
They'll second it and not
Well,
vote.
second,
Yeah.
not vote.
That's actually not an unusual thing. Like, if you want the discussion to happen, it doesn't necessarily mean you want it to
Okay,
happen.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I'm making a motion that no one seconds. That's embarrassing. Item number 6, discussion and action regarding cellular reception in Harpers Ferry. So,
Yeah, so,
see, repeat.
yeah, so this is, the action would be to assemble a initial three-person task force to consolidate all the existing information about improving cell phone service here in town, and then expanding to 5 people to tie in all the other stuff we need, because we need, to make an effective messaging and lobbying package here. We need to hear the voice of the people, and we need to hear the business owners and what they have to say. So I've got a whole little plan worked out, and most of it, or a lot of it, can be done online. But I want to go and knock on doors and ask them these questions and get this feedback from the people who live here, and I can take that, or somebody or Ron can take that directly and work with it. So essentially, what we're doing here is dotting all the I's across the T's and building a lobbying document to take and make people want to help us. But I have a high degree of confidence we can do this. I've looked through there's lots of money, there's lots of grants out there for it, and the Appalachian Regional Commission has folks that deal just with broadband access, and this qualifies as broadband access. So there's a lot of opportunities here, but our challenge is that it's a problem that every small town in West Virginia has. So we have to make sure that we are the people who are getting the help that's out there.
The good thing is we have our story, which we are
The number one church in West Virginia.
Yeah,
it's a pretty easy thing to sell, but it needs to be done. And with a lot of this stuff, and I believe part of this the grant we just talked about, a lot of this stuff is having all the ducks lined up in a row, so the decision makers don't have to put a lot of effort into saying we want to do this. I mean, like the more work you can take away from the decision maker, the more the decision maker is going to think about, and they're going to like you more because you're not asking them to do much.
They get credit and they don't have to do a lot of work.
Right, it's a win for everybody. So that's what that would be. It would be a 3-person task force, sort out who's on it, and then move to a 5-person thing. And then, I think we'll probably be in the spring before we made an official recommendation. And the reason for that is the cell phone service is going to improve here in the next couple of months when the leaves fall off the trees. I'm not sure of all this. I've been looking at it for years. And so once all the leaves are off the trees, the service is much better. It still sucks, but it's much better. And I don't want to have people come down here and look and their phone work. And it
What's
just
the
be
problem?
right. So, in the spring, we can bring this to people and get them to come down here and see that
If we took down all the trees,
if we took down all the trees,
Meeting tonight.
we should not take down all the trees.
so that's what that would be. 3-person to a 5-person task force.
I think procedurally we can only make it 3, but we could probably go on the motion to say with potential expansion in the future, just so there's a record of that.
That's just 3 to 5.
I guess the thing is we could make it a 5-person committee, but only appoint 3 seats, because that would be a quorum would be.
Well, is it
people.
supposed to be all council people?
No, well, if we want it to be, but I think the idea is to bring in whoever is best for the project.
Yeah.
I have somebody in mind, by the way.
Yeah. And what, ultimately what I see it is, a couple of these seats can be, they don't have to be permanently filled, we need at some point a business person to sit here and communicate with us from a business perspective. And
well, that's the thing, like in terms of how long the terms are, if we want to make sure people can move in and out, we might want to make them shorter, just because I don't believe you can compel someone you can't just take someone off the committee or commission once they're on. And taking names and personalities and all the rest out of it, if we want to ensure that it's going to be treatable like that, then we might want shorter.
I think we make it an ad hoc committee that
Yeah, isn't that?
has a purpose, and unless it's something that you see useful to go on beyond, to me it's a specific assignment, and that would be more of an ad hoc committee.
Well, I guess the issue would be if, and I don't imagine it would happen, but if someone did not want to leave the committee but was not doing work and we needed more people on the committee to do the work, I guess the other answer would be we could add more members to the committee.
That's how the parking committee used to be when it was ad hoc. We would bring in more volunteers. So it never was a fixed amount. We changed a little bit. It was okay. I mean, it was who cared about this particular topic. That's what's on it.
Right.
I guess it's fine. Like if we just.
But we're not ad hoc anymore. We're formal.
Well, I don't know. So I have a thought. So is it like if you wanted to focus on what was going on with the businesses, could you not set a meeting where you invite the businesses in to hear that? Or
well, yeah.
So it's not necessarily you're having to have one person representing it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's what Dark Skies did. So we had the folks that were doing the work with the eye towards drafting, and then we had sessions where we invited stakeholders who really had a say, and then the public. So yeah, the committee does not necessarily need to have a representative from each stakeholder group.
No.
But certainly if there's a lot of work to be done to pull in extra people. So I think the thing to do is just for now, form the committee, and if we want to discuss who would be on it, just assign 3 people if we know who they are and agree who they would be, and do that for now, and maybe in the motion just say that it's an ad hoc committee that with an eye towards expansion in the future. So
the motion would be a formation of an ad hoc committee of the formation of an ad hoc committee to study the state of cellular service in Harpers Ferry and create a recommendation and plan for its improvement.
Second.
Sounds good.
Can you say that again?
Because Chris has got to put it down.
Move to.
Were you typing that?
Yeah.
He missed it.
Jesse, move to form an ad hoc committee to study the state of cellular service in Harpers Ferry and create a recommendation for its plan and improvement.
I'm sorry, you didn't hear me, Chris. I don't have much of a voice.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. Further discussion as far as formation of this committee.
What about the Wi-Fi? What's going on with that? Because that has always been discussed.
So it's a bit of a challenge because it doesn't work like your home router does. When you start municipal broadband, there's a big cost with that. It's based on bandwidth. So it's not like we can just stick up routers all over town and put it on. But that is the best case is 5G. The fallback to that is full 4G service throughout Harpers Ferry, and the extreme fallback plan is municipal Wi-Fi.
I can just remind, I've been involved in this a while with the Wi-Fi, and most of the businesses are consider it's the corridor of Main Street. It's really what they care about.
Yep.
The high street,
Yep.
that corridor, and the parking committee has been very interested.
Yeah.
Because we're having a lot. Our customer is having trouble hooking up.
But let Jesse to bring this up.
And so, what we get into is the biggest challenge in all this is going to be that the fiber that comes here to Harpers Ferry is fairly small, and so the cell phones, the way they work, and wireless devices as well, they don't. They're edge devices. They talk to the tower, and the tower talks to the device, but the signal actually goes through a network hub and travels and cables in the ground until it gets to the tower that's closest to where the receiver person is. So between the switching station, the network station, and the tower or base station, that's called backhaul, and the backhaul here isn't great, and that has to be addressed for anything else to change. And that's what I think that the bulk of this project will be, because if the backhaul is there, then the carriers are much more engaged in putting in 5G systems and stuff, because they don't have to build, what they don't want to do is put 5G capable fiber in the ground. They would like to have somebody else do that. And I want to help them find that person.
So potentially if we do this, like maybe Verizon doesn't come in with Fios, but technically it would be possible to do fiber to the curb.
Yes. So it's the basis for a lot of the basis for the vision of a historic town and a modern community. Old buildings and weird stuff that's digital inside.
Chris,
I think it sounds great. Right now we have no guidance in the motion on makeup of the committee, or
yeah, I figure we can have. We probably should describe the makeup, and then if we wanted, then it would be a separate thing to do nominations for the committee. So amendment to have it be a 3-member committee with an eye towards future expansion.
Do I need to approve that amendment?
It's separate, so I'll go ahead and make that.
Okay.
I move that we amend it to include that it will be a 3-person committee with an eye towards future expansion, which has no force. It's just a marker. So is there a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? All opposed? Amendment is approved 4-0. So now it's part of the main motion. All in favor? And the main motion was to form the ad hoc committee to study the state of cellular service in Harpers Ferry and create a recommendation for its planning and
I thought you
implementation.
were voting, so I was got my hand.
And it's a 3-person committee with an eye towards future expansion.
Question.
Yep.
And so I originally envisioned this as a committee, a branch of budget and finance. Would this be a branch of
This
the
would be
town
an
council?
independent.
Okay. Awesome. All right.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved 4-0.
And I'm still wondering. I like to keep the makeup of the committee very open, but do we need any guidance on number of town council members in it, or who?
Say one.
Who?
So, in my thinking, the 3-person part would be internal. So, would there be town council people, developing and putting together the plan to move forward, and then expanding into other folks, like to get outside stakeholder input and help.
Okay.
Once we had a solid thing to handle, and once we have something definitive to discuss, then we can bring in folks.
Okay.
And
Okay.
My only concern has been every time we've done this before internally,
Yeah.
they gave nothing. It started with Charlotte. I mean, she was ahead of this, and they're Hardy, and never. I don't know whatever happened to it. It just moved.
well, it gets really complicated really fast. There's trans-jurisdictional issues. That word again, because so we have to address wireless communications in Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia, and there are 7 two-way radio stations that operate here in Harpers Ferry with the Department of Homeland Security, Park Service Law Enforcement, Park Service Maintenance, and so it gets really, really complicated, and it's not the kind of thing most people enjoy digging into, and I do, So I think we can get some movement out of this.
And did you have people in mind to be on it?
No, I was actually I am happy and also surprised that this was so easy to get you. We think that far ahead. I have. How would we go about doing that?
I've got a guy that has been following this for years, and he's one of your business owners in town.
I also think that you may want to think about staff, because there's possibly Melissa. I know that people in the police department have done a lot of this, and they've had a lot of discussion with our vendors.
Yeah.
Well, the person I think in the business wise is Brian Gray. He's been following this for quite a few years.
And actually, I have experience in the wireless industry, but my capacity to take on more things is probably thin. Yeah, no, for sure. We should definitely involve the police department. They actually might know a lot. Although I don't know if they need to be members of the committee. I think we're not going to decide the members tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, Jesse, especially think about it. And I think we can communicate about this over email without it crossing into deliberation if names are just proposed and not discussed in their relative merit.
Well, and I also think that Jesse, you've been the spearhead of this whole thing. I think I wouldn't have any problem with you being the head of it, and you kind of help select the couple would be with you.
Yeah, we can do that. We can, if you wanted to nominate Jesse, to be the chair of the.
Yeah, I would. I nominate Jesse to be the chair of this new ad hoc committee.
All right, now, Jesse, nominations, there's not a second, it's simply, so I say, are there any other nominations?
Wait a minute, you're not really, I mean, like, it's not the normal nomination process where the name comes in ahead of the meeting or anything like that.
Oh, is
You
that
would,
the town
wouldn't you not be just
Yeah.
appointing, you don't this is not a formal commission or anything.
No.
Aren't you just appointing to this ad hoc
Yeah,
committee?
yeah, we are.
And I don't prefer, think that I know all the particulars, but don't think you're actually nominating.
Okay. I'd have to check Robert's rules, but I don't feel like we need to check Robert's rules. Let's go ahead. The motion is to
Or the
appoint
nomination.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah. All in favor? All opposed? Congratulations, you are the head of this unnamed committee.
It's a problem, you put in something, you may very well lead.
That's right. No, thank you. Tell it.
I heard, call it the Telecommunications Reliability Task Force.
Oh, do we want to, that's another motion if we want to name it.
Oh, yeah, they need to name it. That'll be important.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
The Telecommunications Reliability Committee.
Second. Discussion? All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved 4-0.
And
Okay, now we jump back up. This is item 2, discussion and action regarding Corporation of Harpers Ferry RFQ number 2 of 2025-01 bidding contract. Will require executive session. Specifically, I'm invoking 69A-B-4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the state or any political subdivision. Is there a second? And all in favor? Approved 4-0, and we are inviting the finance officer to participate.
All right, you're good now.
6:43 PM. We are out of executive session. Do we have a motion? I move not to make any award to the contract Corporation of Harpers Ferry RFQ number 2025-01 paving contract at this time.
Second.
Discussion.
I guess that's good. Yeah.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion approved 4-0.
And can you send me that one?
I will. And we've run out of agenda items. Is there a motion
I
to
moved
adjourn?
Move to adjourn?
Craig, second by Christian Petroconis. All in favor? All opposed?